So last night, Phoenix got their first win without Devin Booker on the floor. It really wasn't a close game at all. It just wasn't a game for New Orleans. Brandon Ingram didn't shoot great. CJ McCollum didn't shoot great. Jonas Valanciunas was just like an average, average to above average center. I don't understand this whole Valanciunas Jackson Hayes thing that New Orleans is trying to do. But hey, they're an 8 seed in the playoffs. You can't really get mad at whatever they're trying to do. At the end of the day, the Phoenix Suns. The whole question coming out of this series is, can they win a championship without Devin Booker? Or can they even advance past the second round without Devin Booker? Because I would say that there's a really good chance that he does not play at least half of the games in whatever second round series it is for the Phoenix Suns. Whether they end up playing, I forget who the 4 or 5 matchup is. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Whether it's Dallas or Utah, let's be real, it's going to be Dallas. I think Phoenix has a pretty good chance to get past Dallas without Devin Booker, at least in half the games. Especially when you consider how Phoenix is going to be playing against Dallas. It's going to be a lot of Chris Paul going after whoever thinks they can guard him. It's going to be Mikal Bridges trying. I mean, I'm not going to say Mikal Bridges can shut down Luka Doncic, but I don't think Luka Doncic, compared to whoever has been guarding him from the Utah Jazz, whether it's fucking Rudy Gobert, whether it's Royce O'Neal, whether it's Donovan Mitchell, whether it's whoever it is from the Utah Jazz, none of them compared to what Mikal Bridges can do. Now throw in if Mikal Bridges can score 30 in a game like he did last night against the New Orleans Pelicans, then it's just going to make it a lot easier, because I think defensively, Phoenix, that's where they really hang their hat. I know that offensively they were better from a statistical standpoint this year, but I think defensively is what they really love to do, is just lock up guys. Guys like Jay Crowder, guys like even Mikal Bridges, guys like even Chris Paul, even Cameron Johnson, even DeAndre Ayton. And understandably, there is going to be somewhat of a matchup concern for DeAndre Ayton, because it's like, okay, we're kind of going to have him on the floor, but he also is going to have to guard guys like Maxi Kleber, like Davis Bertans, like Dwight Powell when he comes in. It's going to be tough for DeAndre Ayton, because he's going to have a wide range of matchups that he's going to have to face against Dallas. But I think that coin, has two sides. Whether it's going to be hard for him defensively or not is, it's always going to be hard to play defense. It just always is when you're a big man. But it's going to be hard for Dallas to stop whatever DeAndre Ayton wants to do, because really, you're going to put Davis Bertans on DeAndre Ayton. You're going to put Maxi Kleber on DeAndre Ayton in the post. And then what are you going to do? Help off? You're going to help off Mikal Bridges, who shot 4 for 4 last night from 3. You're going to help off Cam Johnson. You're going to help off Jay Crowder, who historically has been a decent playoff three-point shooter. You're going to help off Chris Paul or Landry Shamet or Cameron Payne. And even, if Devin Booker comes back early in the series, you're going to help off Devin Booker. Just I see no issue with this Phoenix Suns team getting through a playoff run without Devin Booker. At least getting to the finals, because in the West, even though I think the West is the stronger conference between, the two of them, I don't see a team defensively who is just like, okay, we know what we can do against Phoenix. What's Memphis going to do against Phoenix? You really think, do you think John Morant can lock up Chris Paul in a playoff series? And I think Chris Paul, with his veteran instincts, would be able to do a couple of things against John Morant to make him think a little bit. And if they're not going to have CP3 guard John Morant, it's going to be Mikal Bridges. And, have fun with that, John Morant. But like I said, who are you putting on Chris Paul? Are you putting Dylan Brooks on Chris Paul? Okay, now you're already, teams are going to have to try so hard to take Chris Paul out of whatever he wants to do with the Phoenix Suns. And this is what Chris Paul does so well in his whole entire career, is he is always going to control the game. No matter who's guarding him, no matter who he's playing with, no matter what, he is going to control the game. There's nobody on Dallas in the second round series who can change whatever Chris Paul wants to do. And between Memphis, between Golden State, between Minnesota, if they somehow make it past Memphis, There's not a single team, there's not a single guy that I would look at and be like, yeah, I could see them taking Chris Paul out of a rhythm. I mean, I just don't see it. Now, if they go against Golden State, that's really the only team that I would be not afraid of, but that's the only team I would be like, okay, not only do they have the shooting, not only do they have an incredible defense of their own, I think they had the second best defense in the Western Conference this year, but they also have the experience. They have something that Memphis, that Dallas, that Utah, that Denver, that Minnesota does not have. Golden State, between Steph, between Clay, between Draymond, between Kevon Looney. Even now, just with a process of thought of experience within their own system, now with Andrew Wiggins, now with a little bit of guys like Jordan Poole, with guys like Gary Payton, guys like Otto Porter, who's really kind of that 8th, 9th man. This team in Golden State is really good. That's the only team, if I'm Phoenix, I'm looking at and I'm like, okay, I don't really want to play them. But Golden State's also going to have to get past Memphis or Minnesota, whoever ends up winning that dogfight. So now we're looking at it and we're saying, okay, Phoenix, what can we do without Devin Booker? And honestly, I don't think that really should be the mindset. I think if I'm a Phoenix Suns fan, I'm saying, okay, who can we get confident until Devin Booker gets back? Because once Devin Booker comes back, you think teams are going to not like blitz him and be like, okay, let's check out that hamstring. Like teams who are smart are going to blitz Devin Booker when he comes back. Because whether he is 100% or not, you need to test him and say, if you really want to play in this series, we're going to come after you. We're going to blitz you. We're going to defend you like crazy. And that's the only thing against a team like Memphis that I would be somewhat afraid about is they've got some guys between, Desmond Bane, who's like probably the strongest looking motherfucker I've ever seen in an NBA on an NBA court. Like just the way Desmond Bane looks, that dude looks like he could bench 500 pounds. Memphis just has some athletic guys to where I think they could speed up Devin Booker. I think they could get after Devin Booker. And if he's not 100% with his hamstring, it's going to be a lot harder as well. But the goal right now, and the goal that got accomplished last night with having Mikal Bridges go for 31 and having guys like Cameron Payne off the bench put in work, you want to get your role players confident while the star is out. If you can give guys like Mikal Bridges, if you can give guys like Cameron Johnson, hopefully, if he starts hitting the three-point shots and just playing better in general, even though he did have 9 rebounds and 5 assists, if you can get them playing better while Devin Booker is out, it's going to make it so much easier when Devin Booker comes back because now everybody's playing confident. They're going to get through this Pelican series. It's going to be like, okay, we did it without our best player. We did it without our MVP candidate. And once he comes back, the team's going to get even better. At this point, I don't see why Phoenix shouldn't still be the number one option for the finals. They have everything going for them. They've got an elite player at almost every major position, whether it's point guard, shooting guard. Mikal Bridges was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Jay Crowder is one of the best role players in the NBA. And DeAndre Ayton, from a modern big man standpoint, is one of those kind of throwback guys at the center position where I wouldn't fear Draymond Green if I'm DeAndre Ayton, and I wouldn't fear that matchup if I'm Phoenix, because I think Draymond Green has kind of gotten away with the fact that he's played against one of the biggest floppers in the NBA in Nikola Jokic over these past series in the first round. DeAndre Ayton's not going to just be flopping all over the court like Nikola Jokic. And look, Nikola Jokic is a 2-time MVP. I think he should win MVP this year. But that motherfucker flops like nobody's business. DeAndre Ayton's not going to do that over a 6-7 game series. And that's going to be something that's going to piss Draymond Green off more than anything. So he's going to be going against a guy who's, pretty strong in DeAndre Ayton. So at the end of the day, Phoenix Suns, don't worry about it if you're their fans. Don't worry about it if you're looking at it and you're thinking, man, they might not get past the second round. They're getting past the second round. They're going back to the finals. They're probably going to win the finals because there's not a team in the East. Now that the Nets are gone, there's not a single team in the East that matches them talent-wise other than maybe the Celtics. And even if they play the Celtics, I've got Suns. I got the Suns.